Yoga Day. Ladies and gentlemen, let me acknowledge the traditional owners of this land, elders past and present, upon whose land we hold this historic event. Now, I'd like to say that India needs to conquer the world once again. And I can see the smiles on your faces because India has never been an aggressor or invaded another country. But almost 100 years ago, Swami Vivekananda said, India needs to conquer the world. Conquer it with the fragrance of spirituality, with its philosophy, with its wisdom, with its ancient knowledge. And that's what we are going to do, and we are proud that the Prime Minister of India proposed this International Day of Yoga, and it has come into being today. Needless to say, India has been the guru of the world for centuries. Since time immemorial, we have imparted knowledge, wisdom, spirituality, and so much more to the world. And Patanjali, one of the greatest sages of India, founded the great yoga philosophy, science, art, physical exercises, or call it a combination of all that. And yoga has the power to reach your mind, your body and soul, integrate all this, and cure people of the deepest maladies, not only of the body, but also of the mind and also of the soul. So I'm so glad you all believe in it, and you believe that humanity and this world will change with yoga as we propose to do. And I hope you will all follow yoga, not just today, but every day of your lives. And yoga, as you know, is far beyond the physical, difficult exercises. It also encompasses kriyas, mudras, relaxation, yoga nidra, so many more things. And it was Hippocrates, the father of medicine in the Western world, who once said that don't tell me what kind of disease a person suffers from, but tell me what kind of a person is suffering that disease. And indeed, yoga has delved into that. It has delved into the sufferance and the sufferer. And we believe in the causative role of human behavior. And finally, I'd like to just say that 60 years ago, physicists named the invisible layer of reality as the quantum field. 60 centuries ago, the yogis called it pure consciousness. I call him God, and maybe you do too, but it's pure consciousness. And the mind is the greatest instrument of human beings. And by the purification and integration of the mind, the body, and the soul, men have worked miracles and changed the face of human history. We hope and we pray that this International Yoga Day will also change the world and rid it of violence and terrorism. So let us all make history today. With these words, I'm privileged to introduce a video message by none other than the great Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi.
पूरा विश्व 21 जून अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योगा दिवस के लिए प्रतिबद्ध हैं, कटिबद्ध हैं, प्रयत्नरत है। भारत इस बात के लिए गर्व अनुभव करता है कि यूएनओ ने इस विषय को आगे बढ़ाया। दुनिया के 177 कंट्रीज ने उसको को-स्पॉन्सर किया और भारत की अनमोल विरासत आज विश्व की अनमोल विरासत बनी है। ये अहम को वयम के साथ जोड़ने का प्रयास है, ये स्व को समष्टि के साथ जोड़ने का प्रयास है, जड़ चेतन में एकत्व की अनुभूति कराने का प्रयास है। और इसलिए आज जो विश्व अकेलेपन की ओर बढ़ रहा है, परिवार में भी हर व्यक्ति अलग है, भीड़ में भी हम अपने आप को अकेला महसूस करते हैं, दुनिया के अंदर भी हर देश अपने आप को अकेला महसूस करता है। ये अवस्था कल्याणकारी नहीं है। प्रकृतिदत्त व्यवस्था है जुड़ना, जड़ चेतन से साथ जुड़ना, और उसके लिए योग एक माध्यम है। हम प्रकृति से कैसे जुड़े, अपनों से कैसे जुड़े, अपनेपन से कैसे जुड़े, मेरे भीतर जो कुछ भी है उससे मैं कैसे जुड़ूं। समाज अवस्था में चारों तरफ तनाव दिखाई दे रहा है। क्या तनाव से मुक्ति का कोई मार्ग ही नहीं हो सकता है? अगर स्थायी भाव से तनाव मुक्ति चाहिए तो अंतर्मन में स्थिरता चाहिए। अंतर्मन की स्थिरता का अवसर आता है योग साधना से। प्रतिदिन निश्चित समय हम अपने भीतर जाने के लिए लगा देंगे और योग के जो रास्ते हैं उससे सरलता से किया जा सकता है। मुझे विश्वास है कि अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योगा दिवस के द्वारा विश्व जो तनाव के संकट से गुजर रहा है, व्यक्ति जो तनाव महसूस करता है, व्यक्ति जो अपनी समस्याओं को अगल बगल में भी शेयर कर नहीं पा रहा है, वो खुद के साथ अपने आप को जोड़ करके अपने तनावों को मुक्त करने का सामर्थ्य प्राप्त कर सकता है। और आखिरकार व्यक्ति तनाव मुक्त होगा तो समाज भी तनाव मुक्त बनेगा। समाज तनाव मुक्त बना तो पूरा मानव जात तनाव मुक्त बन सकती है, और मानव जात तनाव मुक्त हो तो फिर पूरा विश्व सुख, शांति और सौहार्द के वातावरण से पुलकित हो उठ सकता है। तो एक बड़े सपने को लेकर के छोटा सा आरंभ योग से होता है, और मैं पूरे विश्व समुदाय का योगा दिवस को समर्थन करने के लिए हृदय से अभिनंदन करता हूं। और मैं आपसे प्रार्थना करता हूं, ये प्रयास आपकी ज़िंदगी को तनाव मुक्त बनाए, आपके जीवन को खुशियों से भर दें, आप भी वर्तमान में जीना सीखें, आप भी खुद के शक्ति और सामर्थ्य को पहचानें, अपने भीतर की शक्तियों को और अधिक शक्तिशाली बनाने के रास्ते को प्राप्त करें। आप देखिए, अगर आपका भला हुआ तो दुनिया का भला अपने आप उसमें समाहित है। आपसे शुरू करने का काम है ये योगा, और आज विश्व ने इसको स्वीकार किया है। जो प्रिवेंटिव हेल्थ केयर को विश्वास करते हैं उनके लिए भी उपयोगी है, जो होलिस्टिक हेल्थ केयर में विश्वास करते हैं ये उनके लिए भी उपयोगी है। और जब आज की युवा पीढ़ी जहाँ हिंसा की ओर चली जाती है, जहाँ आत्महत्या की ओर चली जाती है, जहाँ डिप्रेशन की ज़िंदगी भी जीती है, उनको बचाने के लिए मैं समझता हूँ योगा सबसे सरल मार्ग है। आइए हम सब मिल करके मानव कल्याण के लिए उपयोगी इस एक महान शास्त्र के साथ जुड़े, महान विरासत के साथ जुड़े। और ये विरासत मानव की विरासत है, विश्व की विरासत है, ये विरासत आपकी विरासत है, और ये आपका दायित्व है कि आने वाली पीढ़ियों को उत्तम तरीके से ये विरासत हम सुपुर्द करें, और इसके लिए हम आज अपने आप को सज्ज करें। मेरी अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योगा दिवस के लिए आपको बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं हैं।
Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi. He said we live isolated lives today individuals, countries, nations are living isolated lives. We all need to connect. We all need to connect with our inner self and bring on happiness and joy to yourself, to people around you, and to humanity in general. What a beautiful message. With these words, I would now request the Consul General of India in Sydney, Sri Sanjay Sudhir, to come and please address this gathering. Thank you, Sanjay.
Thank you, Kumuji. I think how wonderful it is to see this full house, and the message from the Prime Minister has set the right tone for today's event. On this beautiful Sunday morning, I see that so many of you have joined, including Mr. Brett Lee, who will soon inaugurate this International Day of Yoga celebration. Brett is more than just a cricketer. He's brought happiness to the lives of so many in India through the NGO music. I also acknowledge Mr. Dr. G.K. Harina, Chairman of the Communities Relations Commission, Chairman of SBS, Mr. Nihal Gupta, eminent media persons, representatives of so many yoga schools and institutions in Sydney as well as from India, senior citizens, not so senior citizens, and a lot of young people. And I must also acknowledge those who are, I would say, young at heart and spirits, which is what yoga can help anyone to be. Let me first of all, like Kumaji, also acknowledge the traditional owners of this land and their ancestors, past and present. I've been in Australia now for close to 1 year, and I must say I'm truly impressed that events usually begin with this acknowledgement of its traditional owners. Today, this acknowledgement is even more special because we are acknowledging not only another very traditional land, India, but also the knowledge associated with this traditional land. In the land we today recognize as India, elements of yoga have been found in Indus Valley civilization, something like 3000 BC. Elements have also been found in the Vedas, in Jainism, in Buddhism, in Sufism, etc. Yoga is not confined to any one single religion, but I think it's spread over the entire Indian tradition. The fact remains that yoga is a body of knowledge which belongs to mankind. According to Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi, though yoga originated in India, it now belongs to mankind and each one of us. That is why Prime Minister Modi said while addressing the United Nations in September last year that yoga is an invaluable gift of ancient Indian tradition. It embodies the unity of mind and body, thought and action, restraint and fulfillment, and harmony between nature and man. Yoga is a state of consciousness, a state of being. According to the Yoga Sutras, from where yoga originated, yoga is a union, it's a cessation of all mental activity. The beauty is that along this way to yoga, along this way to the union with the divine, we also encounter health and happiness. We often confuse yoga with the asanas, that is the postures and the breathing exercises, the pranayama, etc. Asanas are just a small part of yoga, like the tip of an iceberg. They merely prepare the body so that the body and consequently the mind reach a higher level of the union. There is very little of Hatha Yoga, that is the yoga which pertains to the asanas and the pranayama in the Yoga Sutras. Yoga is for all mankind, and that is what propelled Prime Minister Modi to urge 193 members of the United Nations to adopt an international day dedicated to yoga. Never before has it happened in the history of United Nations that 177 countries came together to co-sponsor any resolution. The co-sponsors included, of course, Australia, US, Canada, Russia, and a lot of Arab countries as well. The resolution was passed by consensus. In suggesting June 21, which is the summer solstice in the Northern Hemisphere, Mr. Modi said that the day is the longest day of the year in the Northern Hemisphere and has very special significance in many parts of the world. Yogic mystic Sadhguru notes that on this day of the summer solstice, Adi Yogi, which is the first yogi, turned south and first set his eyes on the Sapta Rishis, or the 7 sages, who were his first disciples to carry the science of yoga to other parts of the world. That remains the objective even today as we celebrate International Day of Yoga in Sydney. As it happens with the Olympic torch, someone has to carry the torch to spread the flame, the energy, the spirit, which symbolizes the Olympic spirit. Similarly, India is carrying the yoga torch this time. Light countless other torches and to spread the message and the energy. Therefore, we have this official celebration here at Warongah. Government of India is holding such celebrations at 250 cities across the globe. Prime Minister Modi is leading the celebrations at Delhi, and he is doing it at Rajpath, which is a premier boulevard which comes out of our presidential palace, the Rashtrapati Bhavan. He, in a few hours from now, will be joined by something like 35,000 people at Rajpath. He's a yogi himself, and he is leading by example actually. Our foreign minister, Ms. Sushma Swaraj, is joining the United Nations in New York for the celebration. And I'm happy to see that in addition to official celebrations, there are so many celebrations all over Australia, including Sydney. So we have already had this celebration at Bondi this morning. In the afternoon, there are celebrations at Parramatta, there have been celebrations at Darling Harbour, and it makes us very happy because it's the same message, the same energy, the same spirit which is being carried across. On this very special day, Prime Minister of Australia, Tony Abbott, has given us a very special message for our High Commission and our consulates. I just read it out for you, and I quote, "I am pleased to provide this message for the first International Day of Yoga. For thousands of years, yoga has provided its followers with a guide to bringing their mind, body and spirit into balance. The International Day of Yoga is an opportunity to deepen our understanding of the benefits of yoga. Yoga's universal and growing popularity demonstrates its appeal to people from all walks of life and its great potential to foster better health among individuals and populations around the world." Prime Minister Abbott continues to say that, "I commend Honorable Shri Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of India, and the High Commission of India and Australia for their efforts to share this valuable and ancient discipline with the global community. Australia is delighted to be a part of the inaugural International Day of Yoga celebrations. In communities right around our country, tens of thousands of Australians have embraced yoga as a part of their daily health and exercise routine. Australia and India share a language, a heritage and history, and events like this are an opportunity to further strengthen the warm ties between our two countries. I send my best wishes to everyone celebrating this first International Day of Yoga. The Honorable Tony Abbott, MP, Prime Minister of Australia." Yoga benefits everyone. We all breathe, we all have bodies which function similarly. The doctors in the room, and I see a lot of them, will testify that. Therefore, we can all benefit from yoga. And Sydney is no stranger to yoga. I'm told that Sydney has the highest number of schools per capita among all Australian cities. I'm aware that one cannot learn yoga in 3 hours, 3 hours per day are here. But one can certainly get exposed to it. Today's program will bring you a set of asanas, pranayams, chanting, developed by Ayush Ministry with the help of experts. In India, we have this ministry called Ayush, and Ayush is an acronym in AYUSH, which stands for Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha, Homeopathy. So we've dedicated a ministry to deal with just promotion of these issues. Many of you are aware that we have started yoga classes at the Indian Cultural Center at 265 Kasaragod Street, and please come to our website for the details. Continue with the practice which you are doing here. The common yoga protocol which will be shown to you during the practice is on the YouTube. Just type in common yoga protocol and it will take you there. There are no copyrights to it. It's for all of humanity. We want you to be healthy and happy so that you can make your contribution to society, your country, your friends, and your families. The physical world is not the highest reality. Through yoga, we can certainly translate it. In conclusion, I would say that Kumaji just took off about India conquering the world. I think our perspective is that through its traditional knowledge, we don't want to conquer in that sense, but we want to reach out to your hearts, to your minds, to your bodies. We want you healthy and happy. Thank you very much.
Thank you for those beautiful words, Consul General. Indeed, we will reach out to people's minds, bodies and souls, as you said. And as you all know, a lot of yogic asanas are from the observation of nature and the animal world. We have the lion pose, the dog pose, the cat pose, the Parvatasana, the mountain pose. And little wonder then that we are holding this momentous event at the Toronto Zoo. With these words, I would like to invite someone very special, a cricketing legend, a gentleman, a philanthropist, a kind-hearted person, and now an actor. And I guess you've all guessed who I wish to invite to the podium. Brett Lee.
Well, thank you very much. First, can I say namaskar, Sat Shri Akal. Congratulations, obviously, everyone playing their part, playing their role here to celebrate the the first day of the International Day of Yoga. It's fantastic. I was at the zoo last weekend actually, and it's great to be back again. I know that I guess from my experiences with yoga, you're probably wondering why I'm here, what my role is. I guess playing sport and playing cricket, the most important thing is to make sure that you feel comfortable, get in touch with your spiritual side, get in touch with your inner self, but also keep you on the cricket page, and that's what I guess yoga's done for me. I'm not great at downward dogs. I'm not great at getting my knees flat on the ground, but I know that what I have done has actually improved my flexibility to hopefully at the age of 38 still playing cricket up to 2 months ago. So I do credit that to yoga.
We're not letting you go so soon, Brett. Just a few questions for you. You're a great friend of India, you support India, you love India. You also founded a foundation for street kids. So what attracts you to India, and why have you done all this work?
Now, look, I think if I take it right back, back to 1994, the first time I got the chance to go over to India. I was there as a junior Australian young player under 19s. I had the pleasure to go to Mumbai and to Delhi for 2 months. It was my first time away from home, away from the family. And I don't know, there's something about Indian culture that I love, that I fell in love with at such a young age. It's the culture, it's the way they treat you over there. Even though they're on called a Farangi. And for those that don't know, I'm a white foreigner in a wonderful country. I have worked on my Hindi, it is called a Farangi. But I don't know, it's just something about that when every time you go back to that beautiful country. I was there a few weeks ago. You feel so special, so welcome. I do always say that it's probably the best hospitality in the world. And yeah, it's wonderful. So I've been close to 100 times now. Half England.
So you've been going to India since 1994 and you've been there 100 times. Which city do you like the best? I'm from Bombay.
This is where I just divide the room. Obviously Mumbai or Bombay. It's definitely right up there, one of my favourites. I've spent, I guess, a bit of time up at North India, up in Mohali. Played up there for 3 years. Spent a lot of time in Calcutta, played there for 3 years. But Mumbai and Delhi, Sydney and Melbourne are probably the 2 places where I spend much of my time.
Just one more question, Brett. You just finished a film, I believe, The Un-Indian. Tell me, when is this film going to be released and what do you think is so special about this film?
Well, I think what's so special about the film is that my co-actor here, we go way back, Vicky Auntie plays a huge role. You don't really like me in the movie, you're very, very harsh on me, but it's great that I see your true colours coming out now. But the movie comes out in October. Look, I don't know, to me it's something that I wanted to do. But Devendra here today and Anupam, who are right behind the movie, they're over there, so congratulations on the movie. Looking forward to it coming out. It's a lot of fun. It's something that I thought I didn't want to get to 50 and say I should have done that, I should have tried that. And I guess now with me being up here, I've got to make sure that I get back in and do yoga again. Make sure that I practice what I preach. But yeah, look, India's been a huge part of me. I've got my charity over there. I enjoy going over there. But as you can see, the way that they make you feel, it's pretty special.
So will you accept other offers with Aishwarya Rai and Katrina Kaif?
Well, there's lots of Sundar Ladakis. Lots of beautiful women over in India. Look, I guess I've been lucky. I've played under Preeti Zinta, who's one of the biggest actresses, in India. And it's funny that when she was the head, I guess, person of the franchise I played for, all my male mates were like, she's such a good sort, she's a beautiful woman. And then when I played under Shah Rukh Khan, my friends at home that are female are going, oh, Shah Rukh Khan, can you introduce me? So I guess I've had the best of both worlds, but yeah, look, wonderful culture. If it happens, we'll wait and see, but wait and see how this first one goes.
Thank you so much, Brett.
Well done, thank you very much.
What a pleasure. And Brett promises to start doing yoga seriously, so he'll be a great ambassador for yoga all over the world. Thank you, Brett, for those lovely words. And now just a brief launch of the India tourism brochure by our Consul General, Sri Sanjay Sudhir, by Dr. G.K. Harinath and Vibhav Tripathi.
There's no mic, but I'll try to be audible. So the best place to